Hello everybody, welcome back. Today is day 6 of Here Comes the Sunscreen, 14 Days of Sunscreen. I am so excited every single day. We are reviewing a new tinted mineral sunscreen, but today's sunscreen I think you're gonna really like, I really like, and so I just wanna get into it. But today we are talking about the Undefined Beauty R&R, what is it called? Sun Serum. I always forget the names of these sunscreens, but this one is a super cute, super efficient, like very small packaging, but you're still getting the standard amount, which is 1.7 ounces or 50 milliliters, excuse me. I'm going to be applying it to my face. They now have a few shades. I think it's 3, but I'll just double check to make sure. And they did not used to have 3 shades. I had this a few years, maybe like 3 or 4 now, a few years back, and it was a little too dark for me. So now I have the lighter shade, and this shade is, does it say on here? It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure this is the lightest shade. So I'm going to be applying it to my face like I always do. I'll talk through the specs. We'll go through a swatch on my arm. We will do everything, and I will let you know what I think about this at the end. So to set the stage, as always, I have nothing on my face, no other skincare. I have normal balanced skin. We are getting into warmer months, so my skin does get a little bit more oily in the T-zone, but nothing crazy right now. And that's pretty much it. So, 1/4 teaspoon, that's what I always do for my neck and face, and let's apply. This one you have to shake pretty well. Very liquidy also. So this is the Undefined Beauty R&R Sun Serum. It retails for $24 and comes in 1.7 fluid ounces or 50 milliliters. It comes in 3 shades. We have a light tint, medium tint, and deep tint, and I have the light tint. And this is different because the first time I ever had this, I had just the one shade, and that was basically like the medium shade. So they did release a lighter and a deeper shade, which is amazing. This contains 12% zinc oxide, and it does not have butylloctyl salicylate, which is great. There's also niacinamide, tremella mushroom, jojoba, and rosemary. And it is also water resistant for up to 40 minutes, which is also pretty cool. And lastly, this is SPF 50, if I did not mention that already, with 4 PA pluses. And they do say that it has a natural skin finish. I'm gonna go wash my hands and we'll be back after I put makeup on. Okay, so this is what it looks like with makeup on. Let's zoom in a little so you can see. Ooh. So I have done what I always do during these 14 days of sunscreen, and really what I do with tinted mineral sunscreens. I tend to just use a little bit of concealer in the T-zone, a little bit of blush, powder just around like the T-zone as well, and then mascara, and that's pretty much it. So that is it as far as makeup. Now, let's talk about this sunscreen. So let's talk about the finish of it first. I think the finish is actually pretty spectacular. I think that you can kind of get it to work in any type of way that you want. If you do want a more dewy, glowy finish, I would say just layer it over some skincare like serums and moisturizers. Now, if your skin is on the very, very driest spectrum, it may take a lot more, and it's probably not going to last super long, but you can get a little bit more of a glowy look. That said, mineral sunscreens in general can be quite drying because zinc oxide, that is one of the properties of the ingredient. So I'm not gonna say that like if you're looking for the glowiest that this would be my recommendation, but I do think you can get a more glowy look. For me, on no skincare, just a dry, bare face, this was very glowy at first, but it sunk in pretty quickly. So that's the way that I like to apply it. If I put it over a lot of skincare, then I need to powder a lot more, and it just starts to look a little bit more cakey, which is not really a look I like, but I can get it to work underneath skincare as well and without skincare. As far as the tint, let's take a look at the swatch like I have done every other day. We have an arm swatch, and I put this on about 10 minutes ago, so let's zoom in on that. Okay, so this is the arm swatch, and I'm also going to apply a little bit more so you can see what it looks like when it's freshly applied and then after setting down for a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. So you can see that there's quite a bit of oxidation. This is when it's first applied. It has a very like fair finish or fair undertone. And then it does kind of pull a little bit more orange. But I would say not terrible. Not as bad as what we've seen in other sunscreens. So that is one look at the tones of it. As far as how it sits underneath makeup, every time I've ever worn it, even in the past when I had the old shade and this shade, it feels like nothing on your skin. So that actually makes it really nice underneath makeup. I wouldn't say it has like a tacky primer consistency, but it doesn't ever affect my makeup. I've never had it pill on me. It never sits oddly. I do exfoliate my skin quite often, so if you do have more pilling, not necessarily with this, but just with other things, I would recommend exfoliating more. It's not always the cure, but sometimes it can help. But for me, like right now, nothing. There's no pilling, nothing sitting weird. It just is a beautiful base for makeup. I also did mention before that it is water resistant for up to 40 minutes, which is great. I find that to have a mineral sunscreen, especially a tinted mineral sunscreen that is water resistant, they can sometimes be pretty heavy and chalky and just not really elegant. And this one is the exact opposite to me. This is just a super elegant formula, and the fact that it's water resistant is really nice as well. Now, I don't recommend, me personally, going out and like to the beach with a tinted mineral sunscreen, just because you don't get as good of UVA protection. This one does have 4 PA pluses, but at the same time, you're just not going to be getting as much as you would get from a chemical sunscreen, especially ones that have higher UVA protection. One other thing I wanted to mention, this is a small Black-owned beauty brand, so I just love that. Like, as much as I can highlight small brands compared to like a L'Oreal brand or something, I try to, and I think that they have really blown it out of the park with this one, because not only do they, I'm sure, have a much smaller budget, much higher cost for things, but they made a sunscreen that really works for a lot of people. And then of course they came out with 3 shades. They used to have 1, and then they expanded their line and range. And it's like, if they can do this, then some of these massive brands have no excuse not to. So I always commend a brand for doing something like that, especially when their original shade was pretty much in the middle and it really didn't fit a lot of deeper and lighter skin tones. As far as who this is best for in terms of skin type, I think it's kind of a mixed bag. Like I said before, I think you can make it work for a lot of different things, but I would say it's probably better for normal to dry. Not extremely dry, but like the dry, normal, balanced skin type. For oily skin, because it is a serum and it is so liquidy, it will dry down a little bit, again, just because of the zinc oxide, but it's probably not what you want to reach for. A lot of the times you're going to be reaching for something more matte, so like the Australian Gold from Day 2, and then another one we have coming up, which is also a little bit more matte. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you're looking for a more glowy texture and finish, but for, I think, most people, it's going to be in that middle range that they're going to really like this sunscreen. So that is it. I don't really have a lot more to say. I feel like this is just a spectacular sunscreen, and I really applaud them for kind of continuing to improve the formula, the shades, all of these things, and also making it at a pretty affordable price. Like, I know $24 doesn't feel affordable. Like, we used to get stuff for $10, but $24 for a quality formula from a small Black-owned brand is worth it, in my opinion. If you're going to be reaching for something every day and using it multiple times, like, I think you can afford to repurchase this, you know, over and over, because it's not going to totally break the bank like some of the other ones. I'm talking about you, day one, $75. So yeah, this is the Undefined Beauty R&R. I'm a big fan of it. I think you would be too if you're looking for something similar to this. And I hope you enjoyed day 6. Always forget the day by the end of it. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for day 7.